Do you wear glasses?
I do now. I do now that I'm old. Is it like that? Like I'm presenting Top of the Pops or what?
Imagine if you presented Top of the Pops.
This is it. I went to Top of the Pops once and I got hooked by Debbie Harry, no less.
Did you really? You went to Top of the Pops?
I did.
I've never met anybody that was been to Top of the Pops.
You've never met anyone old enough to have been to Top of the Pops. It was near the end. It wasn't like the Savile years.
I used to love Top of the Pops.
Oh, it was amazing.
Wasn't it so good?
I think it could still come back.
Maybe we should bring Top of the Pops back, but dance music.
100%. I love that.
Why
You just have loads of DJs just playing that one song, instrumental.
I think we should create this.
Where am I in shot? Or do we not know?
Don't move. You're in shot.
So how does this, is the whole thing one continuous thing online?
Yeah.
And then you cut off into bits?
Well, it's all one continuous thing talking, and then I'll cut little snippets for socials.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't go on YouTube, the video?
Yeah.
As a whole?
Yeah.
So
yeah, it does, the whole thing.
Yeah, perfect. Right.
We're going to get to understand each other. Yeah, it's a whole thing.
We've got this, haven't we?
I don't really cut anything out of them anymore.
Right, then that's great to know.
But if there's anything you don't like that you've said, we can stop. So
let's start again, though. It hasn't started. This isn't.
Why?
This isn't part of it.
Okay, we can start again.
Because it's just you.
Sorry, I just have like this. I have a knot problem. So I don't really have any questions to ask.
Oh, thank God.
I just thought we'd wing it.
I need to speak in a steady voice, don't I?
Yeah.
Right.
I love your voice.
Do you?
Yeah. Do you?
Do I now sound more dulcet and Geordie?
I think you've got a really nice accent.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Have you ever done radio work before?
Do you know what? I haven't. Actually, that's a lie. I presented. Have we started now?
Yes.
All right, cool. I presented Queer Mass on Six Music with Sophia. So basically, on like Christmas Eve, we took over He, She, There, took over Six Music, and there was like Sherelle and like proper people, and then there was like just us winging it, playing like Entrance Set Me Free and shit. And then I'd gone on Aphrodite's show before, but I was doing it as Sandra Spitz as my drag character, and then I was on Aphrodite's thing, just being a fucking dick, because there was this challenge called Unmixable or something that she has.
Okay.
And it's normally like a tune from like Warp Records with like some other song from like R&S or Mute or
and you
like
have to try and mix them.
yeah, exactly. Whereas I had Outcast Hey Yeah and Last Christmas by Wham. So instead of trying to mix them, I decided that I would write a new top line. So I did the tune of Last Christmas You Gave Me Your Heart to Outcast Hey Yeah. And it's a horrible piece of music that exists somewhere in the ether.
Can you still remember it?
Yeah, because a lot of it is about... So my drag character, Sandra Spitz, she's from Blackpool, and she's was married to a magician called Tony, who left her for his assistant Abracadabra. So I put that into Last Christmas, and it was basically her being really upset and about Last Christmas you gave it away, and just talking about the ex-husband being a love rat. And it made it onto Six Music, and you could just tell Aphrodite was like, right, okay.
I love that.
Is it? We'll have to find it.
Please,
you can cut that in.
I need to cut that in. Is that on the internet somewhere?
It will be. It's trying to remember what the lyrics are, but it's basically a lot of it is me trying to sing it almost like karaoke, but with weird ad libs about my sister being a shoplifter. It's very.
What's
very
Sandra's
me.
sister called?
Sandra is called Paula.
Okay.
So I was on. So Nadine Shaw, I used to manage, who's like Mercury nominated, is often one of like the butts of my joke. So on her hen night, I dressed up as Sandra Spitz and we went on Crazy Golf in Brighton. And then the people from Crazy Golf decided to start using Sandra as like part of their advertising materials. And then I made up this whole backstory of her maid of honor was Paula, was me kleptomaniac sister who just got out of prison and was just like hungry for anything she could get her hands on. And like, and the whole thing it was then being celebrity Crazy Golf, and like Nadine was getting like Joe Cleone was getting pissed off that all these like people were looking after me and not her. And then randomly there was a stag night of people who pretty much had the same wig as me. So I said to them, can you just pretend that you're all like Sandra fanboys? And then they lifted me up in the air. And like it was really full on. And then the last time we did one together, Nadine and I, she was supporting Depeche Mode, and so I'm there with Depeche Mode, dressed as this mad, somewhat alcoholic B&B lady from Four in a Bed, and with fucking the world's best band, and then going to Nadine like, what was it? Was it you, Anna Calvi, or Speech to Bello? And then I was listening to all the different women who'd won the Mercury Prize. I was like, oh no, you've just been nominated, haven't you? Well, actually, it's very prestigious. And I was like, oh yeah, so why are you here today? She's like, I'm supporting Depeche Mode. Oh, so you're not headlining? And she's like, well, actually, I was also like supporting them on tour 11 years ago. I was like, 11 years and you still support. It's great. Everyone loves a hobby, you stupid bitch. And her and I just prang each other. We did this one thing where, probably shouldn't say this on her, where Nadine was supporting Joss Stone and she didn't really want to support Joss Stone. But I'd kind of made her do it because I thought it would be good in the early days to get her kind of...
Sorry, you're managing her at this point.
I'm managing... This is flip back to when I managed her. And we just thought it would be funny that every time Joss Stone was there with our dog being like a diva, that Nadine would slap me in the face after I refused to do one of her diva demands. And then, bless her, Joss Stone came up to us about 3 times in and was just like, you don't need to take that from her. And I was like, then I had to be like, oh no, like it was just a joke. And it was so embarrassing to climb down. But bless Joss Stone, she's really nice.
She thought that you actually
she thought I was like
slag.
being genuinely like abused by it. No, it wasn't like it hurt. It just, because we're doing like the thing where you slap your hand and it makes a sound. We're just being stupid.
That is so funny.
But I love Nadine. She's incredibly, incredibly talented. But I've managed loads of people.
I know you have managed. Like, is that how... Did you just start off in management?
No. Do you want to hear the whole spiel?
Yeah, I do.
The Marvel villain story. So, first of all, I was a goth, and this is important, so I was a goth, which I still roughly am, a goth, and then I was a Nirvana fan, so I dyed my long black hair yellow because I was trying to get it to be like Kurt Cobain, blonde, but it actually went Iron Brew orange. And then when we were going to Ibiza at like 16, the lads were like, you're absolutely not going on holiday with us with long ginger hair. You look like a clip. And but I was just kind of rugby boy at the time, so I said, all right, well, I can't not go on the lads' holiday. So then I got a high skin fade, which is obviously therefore the haircut that I've stayed with forever afterwards, because it was the one where I was finally hot. This was 25 years ago. So, I went to Ibiza and we went to loads of different clubs. Manny Mission was one of them. And basically there was a guy who was hollowing out a cantaloupe with his willy. And like me and one of my buddies were like, lols. And then Claire from Manny Mission was like, that's not funny. You're laughing at him, not with him. That's not cool. She was like, you wouldn't get up there like wearing nothing and dance. Probably would. So then me and my best mate got up on the podium and danced, and then
with no clothes on.
Well, I think we had. I think we pretty much hitched pants into thongs.
Right.
Just to be like, whatever.
Yeah.
And then she just thought, oh, okay, she called us on it and we did it. So then we were going back to like the Manumission Motel. We stayed out longer. We met like all these people like Elle Macpherson and stuff. Now bear in mind, I'd only been on holiday at this point abroad once to Paris, and it was for 3 days with my agoraphobic mum, and I managed to smash my front teeth out. So that was
in Paris.
In Paris.
So you didn't have any front teeth?
No, I got them like now they're really nice, but they didn't look like this before because I kept playing rugby and I kept getting them knocked out.
Oh.
So I had a very checkered past with being abroad. So this was insane because I'd only really been in the Northeast. And then I think I kind of got the dance music bug. But during this holiday, someone had gone, oh, we're doing this Kiss night called Peach that was in Camden Palace up in Newcastle. And Sunderland, do you know anyone who would do it? And I was like, oh, I'll do it. And at this time I was 16 and too young to legally be in a club, but no one checked anything. So I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And so then I started running this Kiss night and like getting help booking things, and I used to put up all the branding, and my mum used to give me a lift there and go, are you putting up the curtains? It was so budget, it was so funny. But we had like people like Ferry Corson and stuff playing,
really?
Like Fergie, Lisa Lashes, a lot of like hard house kind of trans people.
Yeah.
As was the flavour at the time in 1998.
I love Fergie.
Oh, it was really good. It was really good. And once Brandon Block did a wee in our DJ booth, and I asked him to leave.
You asked him to leave?
Yeah, I didn't know that was like something that people did. I was just like, that's so feral, get out. Like, no, I think, get out. And then because I worked for Kiss, Ministry headhunted me. So they didn't even see my work. They just knew that like, oh, you're the Kiss guy, mate. You must be decent. So I was running Newcastle Uni's freshers for Ministry when I was doing my own freshers. So like I kept kind of doing all these like events for people and kind of just falling upwards because like, well, he's done this, he must be good. Like, cool.
And that was at 16.
So at that point in my freshers, I'm 18, but I'd done the Kiss night.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give you like a week by week account of it, but
I'm just putting it into context.
Yeah, through the college years, it was the Kiss, and then I started working for Ministry, and it was when I had Ministry Mag, and then I remember they tried to pay me once in a feather coat, which, as you know, because I'm staying here, feather bedding's a no.
I've just had a thought. I think
the pillows are feather.
I think these cushions have feathers.
As long as I'm not like touching
them
properly, yeah, I'll be fine.
Okay, so they gave you a feather coat.
Yeah.
Wait, is it really bad? Will you like?
No. It's not like you can't eat feathers on a plane around me.
Right. Okay.
But like, anyway, this she's fucked up me.
Sorry. I just have so many questions now.
How dare you?
Sorry, carry on.
We can talk about allergens in depth in a second. What the fuck story was it? Oh yeah, they gave us a feather coat to pace. So I got a Stanley knife and I ripped the coat and I sent it back and I'm like, I'll have money this time, please. And I think after that they were like, oh, okay, this is how the Northeast works. Yeah, it's like, don't do this to me.
Wait, sorry. So they sent you that as your payment?
Yeah.
Who the fuck does that?
Ministry of Sound back in the day. So I was like, no, pay me. So then I worked for them for a little bit longer, and then worked for like nights like Shindig and Promise in Sunday Central in Newcastle. I just had kind of a bit of I didn't run those. I was just more like just helping Sunday Central. I used to podium dance, and there's a guy called Madders who used to run Sunday Central, and there's a few times where I used to be his Scottish granny on radio shows. So I was sometimes her. And like different people like that. I had a Scottish girlfriend at the time. So yeah, who I met at Sunday Central when I was dressed as a lion and she was dressed as a zebra. And she brought a Wendy house to the club and she met me cups of tea that were imaginary in this Wendy house. And then we went out for like 7 years. And then, because she said to us, "Oh, you're a lion. Like, when do you want to eat me?" I hadn't heard, so I thought she was really forward. It was like, "When you gonna eat me?" thing. And I was like, "Wow, okay, shit." And then
what happened?
I started having more imaginary cups of tea. So I was like, "I'm sure that's not what she said." But yeah, it was with her. So I became a trained psychologist at the same time.
So you're a trained psychologist?
Yeah, occupational psychologist.
What's an occupational psychologist?
So like, if you go into an organisation and they do like culture changes and things like that,
right?
Like that was my thing.
Okay.
So I used to at first work for like big businesses doing that, and at the same time, I worked as like a music journalist. So that, for instance, I was working as a music journalist. I went to Glastonbury, and the BBC van ran over my tent. Again, lots of stuff happens weirdly.
What the fuck?
And then she was like, "Oh, like, I'm really sorry." I was like, "You ruined all my stuff." And she's like, "Oh, what can I do for you?" I was like, "I love work experience at the BBC." So bless her. This is this woman called Ruth Liptrot who presents on Channel 5 now. She let me stay in her house on her sofa. And then I went in it. That's when I went to Top of the Pops and interviewed Debbie Harry and stuff. And I met Linford Christie, who thought I was a prick. And I met Julie Walters, who loved me. Of course she did. I love Julie Walters. Beverly Knight, who I really liked.
I love Beverly Knight.
And I interviewed Richard Branson.
What, all of this for the BBC?
Yeah, and I took this beard and I went, "Is it real? Joke at joke." And he went, and I went like, "Oh, does everyone do that?" And he went, "No, you're the first." He was not impressed at all. But I was just this little Geordie rogue, which I still kind of am. And I thought, this will be funny. It wasn't.
You tugged on Richard Branson's
I did.
beard.
My mum's funniest stupid story of that I did. I was really hungry once at Latitude, and I asked Tom Jones if I could eat his spare Yorkshire pudding. and I think again, he was surprised, but I did. And I think he thought at first, "Oh, is he going to be this like mad fan that's going to pocket the Yorkshire pudding as like a memory?" No.
You were just hungry.
How?
I was just hungry.
Dunk Tom. So there was that. I've got loads of just like weird minor celebrity stories like that of like just weird shit.
Who's the most famous person in your phone book?
Ooh. In my phone book. It used to be Beyonce before her number changed.
Are you joking?
Just because, but that was a work thing.
You had Beyonce's number?
I did, but only for a work thing, not because she liked me, in fairness.
Wow. Did you speak to her then? Did you meet her?
Yeah. I met her loads of times.
Is she really nice?
Yeah. So the first time, so basically when I was managing Tricky and he was banned from Glastonbury, and then at the time I used to smoke, and I was like, "Oh, how can I get him on at Glastonbury? I know it can be Beyonce's guest." And I was like, woke up the next day and I was like, "Why? What on earth have I done? Like, why have I messaged Beyonce that Tricky can be our surprise guest?" Their management team's going to think I'm crazy. And they didn't. And instead they were like, "Can you get on a Eurostar and come meet Beyonce today? She's playing in Nice in France." So I did, and I hadn't really slept because obviously I'd been up night cooking mad stuff, trying to not cooking as in a Breaking Bad way, hasten to add, but just cooking up ideas and plots and emails.
Right.
So yeah, God, that sounded horrific. No crystal meth then.
Hadn't been sleeping because we've been cooking all night.
This is the first 8 minutes of the interview, and I've somehow seemed to have cooked crystal meth, which I haven't. But the moral of the story is I was very tired. It's not even a moral. I was just very tired. The story, I should just say. So I was very tired and I rocked up. And then Beyonce, just bear in mind, she's just done a fucking 2-hour concert, came backstage and she went, "You look really tired. Do you want my seat?" And she gave me her seat because I looked so tired.
And a Yorkshire pudding?
No, that was Tom Jones. Beyonce gave me no food.
She didn't give you any food.
She didn't give me any food. But, oh no, she's so lovely.
Is she?
She is lovely.
What did you talk about?
Well, on some various snippets included, where's your voice from? It's kind of familiar, but a bit strange. And I was like, oh, it's from a place called, I didn't say Sunderland because you wouldn't know where it was, but Newcastle. It, just in case like she might have toured there. Random, she did play Sunderland in the end.
Oh, okay.
But that was years later. I almost prophesized that. But no, I said, oh, it's from Newcastle. And she went, that's why my head of wardrobe's from Gateshead, right? And then she said, why I, man? In Texan. Which I thought was amazing. Like, wow, man. And she's like, I know the Geordie. And I was just like, you're amazing. And like, all through these things, just do it. She's just really nice to everybody. Really fucking good in rehearsals, like amazing. And then you'll see if you watch Tricky on there, he had some kind of like, you don't think he could hear the feed coming in. But normally if he can't hear something, his band will go into a 16 and like he'll catch up again. But this is like everything's on pyros. So no going back. So it basically just missed his slot therefore on stage. So he's just on stage.
Oh no.
I'm side of stage. Bear in mind at this point I'd met Chris Martin from Coldplay and who else did Tricky introduce us to? Like Paul Simon and like all these like legends and like Gwyneth Paltrow and Lucy Liu had been like near me but weren't anymore because it could only be around Success. Like it was just wild. And I messaged my best mate because nobody knew that this was a thing. I was like, oh, does it look like it looks a bit bad on side of stage, but like maybe I just can't hear the feed.
Yeah.
But like it's through the TV feed. It's like, however it looks side of stage, it looks worse on TV. And I was like, oh gosh.
Oh no.
And then she came down off stage, saw me, because on some costume change, hugged me, and went, you look more upset than I do.
Beyonce said that
to me and gave me a hug mid-set. For some reason, she pitied me at various points in my life, right? She invited me the next day to our album launch, and I said, it was like 2 days later or something, next to you and McGregor.
What?
So it was like, the whole thing was kind of wild. And I was like, but she just literally, I think because I was so young at the time, and she just saw that I was like trying my hardest to contain it. And to be fair, I just said to Tricky, let's not talk to anybody about this. And then the enemy, everyone wanted to talk to him about that. So they then went and did big spreads about the actual new album. So it actually worked out really well because we just could spin it because it's like that thing, no publicity is bad publicity. Yeah. As long as you can harness it for something. But she was cool. And she said this one thing that was cool, which now in a post-Me Too world sounds non-consensual, but it was just cool, where someone had said that like this thing that she wanted to happen in a recording studio couldn't happen. And she went, let's get this right. I only like the word no when it comes from my lips. And I was just like, oh God, how to say you're the most powerful person in the room.
Wow.
But she was just really lovely. And I remember at the time, I was staying on the floor of my student brother's flat. Yeah. And I'd thought that this was going to like make me my fame and fortune, which it didn't. So we came back. Tricky's car that we were in had broken down. So we actually went back to London with Beyonce's management because it was the only way we could get back. And I was like, oh my God, this is like, just pretend that it's fine.
Paris.
This is from Glastonbury to London.
From Glastonbury.
So we met her in France and then we'd done rehearsals. Like one of the places we did rehearsals, the guy, it was just someone's estate, and like he had 2 helicopters with different colours to like pick which helicopter he wanted to go somewhere that day. And I'm like, literally, I'm on the floor of my student brother's house being like, how do I reconcile that with this? It's so bizarre. So she's famous. The most famous person who follows me, because Beyonce does not follow me, but Lana Del Rey follows Sandra Spitz. So Sandra Spitz has a very weird assortment of followers. There's Lana Del Rey, Becky Hill, Peaches, Mary Jane Coles, obviously. Fire from Gladiators, who I met at the O2 randomly. It was lovely. But like this, like it's such a random one. But I think the Lana one, I've got so many followers for Sandra because like just different people with honeymoon in their title, because Lana follows me.
But why does Kate?
They kind of want to follow anyone who Lana follows.
Yeah.
So they must arrive there and be like,
who does Lana follow?
Yeah.
Oh, then they get to Sandra Spitz.
Yeah. And my drag character takes 3 minutes to get ready out of a carrier bag. And sometimes I use snazzery face paint, and if there's no water around, I've used cola before to go and like move the face paint and make it work.
What, Coca-Cola?
Yeah, once I had to use spit because there was no cola.
And that's why it's Sandra Spitz.
She's called Sandra Spitz, but her married name was Sandra Swallows. But she went back to her normal name because it was more fitting afterwards.
Oh, this was when she was married to the guy from
Tony.
Yes. Yeah.
But there's a whole backstory for Tony as well, because I remember finding out about their affair. Actually,
how did you find out?
I found out about the affair because, should I do it in character?
Please.
So I'd just been made the face of Anya Sol, and I was really excited. Anya Sol wipes, not just for your arse. And I got the megabus back to Blackpool to Casa del Salsa, my B&B. You might have seen in Channel 4's 4 in a Bed. Became third. There was too much pubic hair in one of the bins. But anyway, I was looking for Tony, and I thought, do you know what? He's not here, but I'll go and freshen the place up. So I emptied all the sanitary towel bins, and I finally got up to Honeymoon Suite, and the door was kind of locked, so I gave it a bit of a jostle, and I walked in, and there was our Tony, naked on all fours, being fisted up the wrong end by Abracadabra. Well, you could imagine, like any man who's toxic, he tried to gaslight me, didn't he? And he said, actually, it's not what you think. We're just trying out a new ventriloquist act. And I said, well, it's not working because I can both see everyone's lips moving. It was terrible.
That is awful.
It was awful.
That was awful.
And he said, do you know what? It's just an illusion, dear. You know what you're like. You probably need one of your pills. And I said, do you know what, Tony? I may have an underactive thyroid, but I do not have an overactive imagination. God, somebody needs to brush it with their stand-up. It's very tired.
I love that.
But I have this whole thing where she's...
When was she born?
1959.
1959. Okay.
Very definite about that date. She was conceived in like lockdown.
Oh, Sandra was only conceived in lockdown.
Yeah, because before that I had another character called Dame Diana Dupree. So Dame Diana Dupree was this like mad... I can't do the voice of Dame Diana Dupree as well as... She just kind of talks like that, monogamy. It's like, so basically this like mad posh old theatre lovey, but she's not as natural. It was like, I guess you experimented with characters first. And then my flatmate, Clemmy, had a skinhead and dresses very androgynously. So she became, instead of having how Cher has her kid, Chastity, and then became Chaz Bono, I had my child called Monogamy instead of Chastity. And Monogamy used to be in a band called Pick and Mix and then went solo. And her and I were both kind of thrust together because her rehab centre closed down in COVID. So that was the premise of why we were in. And Monogamy had been fine, but wasn't because I was driving at a drink. So I would carry this dead dog called... Chi Dupree around with me and 2 Oscars that I got from Amazon, and it was just stupid skits like there's these people called the Cock Destroyers, these 2 porn stars, and bless her, Sophie's passed away, but they had this thing where like they were talking about an orgy on Twitter and it had gone like viral, and they were like, you know what we are? We're Cock Destroyers. And then we did a stupid one where we're choc destroyers, and we were just being really slutty eating chocolate. And my favourite one, which is really stupid, was you know how Gwyneth Paltrow has Goop?
Yeah.
And she made the candle that was like a vagina.
Vagina, yeah.
So Dame Diana Dupree, because it was like satire of different celebrities, that she made her own website called Poop, and she made a candle that smelled like her arsehole. And it was just her and I just being really bored. And then Dennis, who was in our bubble, came over, called D-Dog. So we kept trying to kill people in the thing. So we'd killed my other daughter, called Tallulah.
How?
We don't really know. It's just alluded to in different various ways. But D-Dog came over. And Dennis, I love him. It's Dennis from Defected.
Okay.
But he's a horrible actor. And so he then has to bind and gag monogamy, because I'm trying to get monogamy married off, because I'm on my 6th husband and she hasn't married anyone, and I'm always being that overbearing kind of mom. And he comes around and she's like, no, he's a stalker. And then he binds and gags her to a chair with socks. And and we do the scene, the Reservoir Dogs, the ear cutting off scene. But instead of using Stuck in the Middle with You by Steelers Wheel, we used a version by Louise from Eternal. Of Stuck in the Middle with You. So it's really camp, this scene. And Clemmie's actually better than me in it. She's the glue, as playing my non-binary child, monogamy Dupree.
Oh, I love this.
I'll show you some episodes of it. I
want a character.
You can be. There's a few. It became a really bad serial during lockdown. Had no production values. My makeup was even worse than it is now, and I just had loads of character turbans and caftans. And there's one of the episodes, you can see I'm dyeing her hair. But I'm really dyeing her hair. But then we realised that I'd kept the peroxide on too long, and I'd turn her ginger as well.
Oh, I love this. Do you think so now it's Sandra Spitz, do you think you'll ever have another character?
Probably. I mean, I think Sandra Spitz is definitely the one that it just works. We're doing Pride at Coco this year, and Coco have already created a cocktail for me, which I'm going to go mix next week.
Are you joking?
No, and it's called the Sandra Spritz, and it's get off your tits on Sandra Spritz.
Oh, I love this.
So these different stupid ones. And then someone the other day was like, oh, if you ever get diarrhea, you can be Sandra Squits. And there was just or Sandra Shit. And it was just it has its own thing of its own. But I also started writing in lockdown, because there's nothing to do comparatively to normal kind of frantic times. So I've got a kids book called Sceptre of the South that Louise R, who I used to manage, her mum was vice president of Nick Jr., or maybe even president at one point. Yeah, was creative director of Sesame Street.
What?
So when Louise was like, oh, my mum can probably help you a bit with some of the story bits. And I was like, all right, cool. Didn't know who our mum was.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And then, a bit. And then because I sent stuff normally to proofread to my mum, just because my mum's been a teacher and taught young kids, and has a good, is much better at grammar than me because I'm dyslexic. So this was pre-Grammarly. And Louise's mum really helped me. So I've got that. And then I went to an agent, and I was really excited because I sent it off to this agent, and within an hour, I got a thing, a message going, I want to have a call with you. And I was like, I'm the fucking trans-inclusive J.K. Rowling. I'm a genius. And then they were like, oh, yeah, it's really hard to sell kids' films if you've not got a track record or it's not from Big Book. So we advise you to write an elevated horror film. I was like, right. And at the time, I think it was called Christmas Kids Saving Santa. So it's like, this isn't going to fly. So I've gone back and then turned that into a book now. So that's like 60,000 word book, just in its third draft. So now I'm going to send it to people to go read it and then see what it's like, and then submit to agents. And then I wrote a couple of comedy pilots, or one actually a whole series. And the first one that I wrote, which is based on me and one of my friends, the one, like, so I've only sent it to one person, and I love the things that she's produced. It's really dark humoured, and she's like, I like your jokes, I don't like the world. And I was like, all right, no worries. She's like, but I heard you have another pilot, so send me that. So obviously, self-sabotage, I haven't sent her the other one because I need to just finish the kids' book, and then, because I have lots of things that I hadn't finished. Yeah. So write kids' book and then send it off. But then the next one is this like ensemble cast sitcom. So I can't say what it is because it'll give the game away. But hopefully that turns into something, and then I started writing a horror film just to prove.
So I was just going to say, have you started doing that?
Yeah. But like, I've just mapped it out, and then one of my friends and we've started trying to write a pilot on some of the not so nice things that have happened to us in our lives, like, and just from my perspective of what happened to me as a boy, what perspective happened to her as a girl. And then see how those marry up, because I think Baby Ranger kind of, made us realise like, actually, it is actually quite helpful to have those things out, and I think like, it's a crazy.
It is. Isn't one of them the actual people in it?
Yeah, Richard Gadd, who wrote it.
So the guy that wrote it, he that was actually who that happened to.
Yeah, though it's a dramatization of things. So it's, because that's the whole debate, isn't it, about what really happened and what didn't happen. But like, I think he did paint himself as like, what the interesting thing was, he was also flawed in that. Yeah. And it was like, because I don't think anyone is 100% good or 100% bad. I think everybody does mad stuff, like, and the way that like people's trauma responses. So for instance, my brother died on a Friday night, and then Monday I went to college, and then he got buried like 2 weeks later or something. And then one of my best friends was like, oh, I haven't seen your brother for ages. I was like, oh, it's because he's dead. And they were like, what? I was like, so you didn't think, like, I've been your best friend for like 7 years, you didn't think of like
selling me?
Same. And I was just like, oh no, because like at the time everyone else was kind of going to bits, and I kind of felt like I couldn't. So like, that was the thing with Baby Reindeer. Some people were like, oh well, why does he not go to the police, or why does this happen, or why does that happen? I'm like, how people react to trauma is
totally different
every time. And like, or the amount of people that have been like, oh, I'd never get in an abusive relationship because I've seen them. You don't just start off like, it's the first date and the person punches you in the temple and you're like, oh, I'm gonna leave. Yeah. It goes in this kind of coercive ways and stuff. So like, you kind of find you're deep in something before you even realize what you're into, and then have to try and kind of claw your way back out. So I thought it was really useful not having just like, this happened to me and then I was the victim in this way, and then I reported to police, or I couldn't handle it, and like, he was an imperfect victim. Yeah. And I think that's like, and it's funny because some of the discourse online is like, well, he had like a public duty to do this or do that, and like, it's really hard. I don't think you can tell anybody who's a victim what they should or shouldn't do. Yeah. It's whatever keeps them still on earth, I think, half the time.
100%. And it's what you just said, like, your way of reacting is going to be totally different from one person to another.
100%. So that's another one of my light things.
Oh my God.
There'll be a sitcom, a kid's book, a horror film, and a really deep drama thing. I'd love to play bit parts in stuff like Alfred Hitchcock. And my memory, I don't think, is good enough to go and do lines in that way, probably because of the smoky years. Though I'm pretty good at remembering events. I think that if I had to do a big monologue, I couldn't.
I'm like that. I can remember, like, put me like a 90s pop song on and I'll remember all the lyrics.
100%.
I know every single word.
Like we're dementia patients, basically.
Exactly.
Can remember the 30s.
But then remember, like, I wasn't very good at studying and, like, exams and stuff. I just can't remember anything.
Fair.
But songs, I'm fine.
Well, you've documented your life.
Yeah,
in
exactly.
60 seconds, you can remember
60 seconds.
what happened everywhere in every juncture. But like, yeah, I won my school drama prize a couple of times.
Did you?
In the lower years, not in the upper one because I didn't stay on for sixth form. But like, I in college, I changed and went to Sunderland College. So I got a scholarship and a thing called an assisted play. So I went to a posh school because my sister hadn't passed her exams. She now does better than me, earns more than me, like proof that you don't need a piece of paper to show you're bright. Because we learn in totally different ways, her
100%.
and I. But yeah, like I did basically a pantomime for disadvantaged kids where I was King Borodit. And then all my fucking mates would like wolf whistle every time I came on stage as this like mad old man. It was am I still in shot? She left to see if I was still in shot.
I'm just making sure you're still in shot and you're still there.
Am I still there?
You're still there.
I'm quite a large person.
I get really nervous about technology. I just keep having this like thing that I'm like, imagine it stopped recording.
Oh my God, what would that be like?
Well, you'd have to tell me all these stories all over again.
And I would gladly. I'd tell anyone these stories.
You got the best stories.
I just rattle on and on and on and on.
I just think we should have a show together.
I think we should.
What should we call it?
Did you find any stray hairs on that?
Oh my God, the dog hairs.
Dog hair, that was it?
Dog.
Curly dog hairs.
That's what I'm going to call it.
Very good.
There we go.
You can't see, so you'll have to edit that out.
Dog hair on my mic.
How did you get into it?
Into music?
Yeah.
I was.
See, I cut mine halfway off. The time talking about drag.
I know. Oh, you didn't even tell me how you met Lana Del Rey.
Oh, at the Women in Music Awards in Chateau Marmont. Yeah, I forgot that. Yeah, he follows me. Yeah, Lana Del Rey. And I was just telling her about just life because she'd been managed a management company that I used to work for, and we both disliked a particular person in common. And so then we just
get on one.
We just both of us just like rattled on for ages because this person had said to Lana, you can lose 30 pounds and come back and be a star. And she was like, she just won Best Woman or whatever the award was, like Greatest Inspiration Award at the Women in Music Awards. And kind of like, I don't know how many number one albums she's had now, like 7 or 8 or something. Yeah. And I think it was just a big fuck you to people who literally thought that something as petty as like her weight was going to hold her back. And she's so beautiful. Like it's just a nonsense. But anyway, she was like, we were just talking about stuff, and it came up that I did drag, probably because I said I do drag. I probably volunteered it. Realistically, she was probably just listening. I was just talking at her in a corner, and she went, "Oh, come show me." And I was like, "It's not RuPaul's Drag Race. It's not what you think. It's very slapdash. I have a pair of polystyrene beanbag tits that cost £10 at full recommended retail selling price, which are like pillows for people with bad attachment." And she was like, "I need to see it," and then she gave me her phone, and then I sent it, and she went, "Oh, you're not going to press follow?" I was like, "No, you can. You can follow me, Lana Del Rey."
And she did it right there and then.
And she did. And then once, like, Peaches at a gig did a shout out for me, and she was like, "That's right, Sandra." And I was like, "Oh, Peaches." Peaches has become like a proper friend, and Becky Hill's like a proper friend, and Maya and that obviously are. And But yeah, the Lana one is just
That's
funny.
so funny.
Because especially when like you see Sandra in the flesh and you're just like, it's not very good what you've done. And like,
what does it say on your Instagram profile? The messiest? No, is it messiest?
Yeah, it's the world's messiest drag queen.
The world's messiest drag queen.
Because it is. It's just like I wear my Nike Max a lot.
Same hair and makeup?
So I've got the same wig. So I've got two of the same wig because one ever gets dirty. Lost. Yeah. But the one that I wear at the moment, it has a tiara in it that I was wearing, and then it got lost inside the hair. And I just thought, fuck it, I kind of like it just being like mangled in.
Hot mess.
But I've worn it. It's been in the sea 4 times and it hasn't been washed. And it doesn't smell. I don't know how, but like... It comes from a Halloween costume shop online. So it's like, it's robust, if nothing else.
When does Sandra come out then?
She comes out at He, She, They gigs, and that's where you can see her. And she will come up stand-up gigs properly when I stop being a pussy about it. Because I just get nervous.
Do you get nervous?
Yeah. I'm nervous right now. That's why I'm like...
No, you're not. I never thought you'd be a nervous person.
But yeah, I think that's the thing. I overcompensate because I'm nervous. You saw me around Discord, the lovely doggy.
So we're actually here together today because Brains is going to look after my dog next week.
I am. Discord the dog.
Disco night.
And I can't... I think if I get dressed up as Sandra, the dog will be terrified.
Oh my God. He would... yeah, maybe. But I think you should do it.
I think he would attack the hair.
I think he probably would. He'd be like, there's seaweed in this hair.
There's all sorts of it.
So yeah, we've had the first encounter.
And the dog did, as you said, was a bit barky at first, but then was lovely afterwards.
Yeah, and now he's absolutely fine with you.
Because I bribed him with treats.
You did. I'm going to come back next week and he's going to be like 5 kilos overweight. Feeding him all the treats, aren't you?
Unless I've eaten the treats.
Unless you've eaten the treats.
Have you ever eaten dog food? I haven't.
I've tried one little piece.
Was it meat or dry?
It was dry.
Okay.
Do you want to try one?
No. Definitely not to be enshrined on your iPhone.
It's not very nice.
No?
No. I've also tried... Why have I tried this stuff? I actually didn't end up eating it, but me and Waf went to the farm a couple of weeks ago. And we went to see the alpacas. And they gave us these little grass nuts, basically.
Is this in Ibiza?
No, this is here. Vauxhall, there's a farm in the middle of Vauxhall. It's called Vauxhall City Farm.
All right.
And they have alpacas in there.
Fair.
Yeah. So it was pissing it down with rain. Like, pissing it down. And we went to the farm and fed the alpacas. And I was going to try one of the little grass nut things. But then I chickened out.
No, the thing you were feeding the alpacas?
Yeah, because they're just very sloppy.
What's your favourite animal food that you've tried? Because it seems like you've got a plethora.
That's such a question. Which is my favourite? I think, you know when you feed fish them flakes?
For a minute, the way that you're doing your finger, I thought you were going to say a Toblerone. And I thought, what animal do you feed a Toblerone?
A Toblerone? What's that got to do with a Toblerone?
Because from the angle that I looked at it. But this is an Illuminati.
Why would you associate
Now
Toblerone
it's Illuminati. It's even worse.
Dude, you ever do
So can I just say that I got a spam message the other day saying, this is the Illuminati at something.peru. And then said, like, do you want to join? And I thought... Can you imagine if it was just that simple?
It might actually be
join.
The real thing.
We've got some bad press. Numbers are low.
Just come on over. Join us. Did you reply?
I didn't. There was a few times in stuff because Maya went out with the taxidermist. So our logo is... Oh, sorry. With ADHD. What is your favourite food?
I was going to say one of them fish flakes.
A fish flake? That's quite a big flake, though. To camera, that's the size of a Malteser.
I think I've only eaten a piece of dog food. And it was a dog, and it was and it was a dog treat, and it was once, and it was a dare.
It's the meat. No, it wasn't a dare, was it?
No.
But the meat is the bit that looks like it would be the nice bit.
Have you seen wet dog food? I don't even feed him wet dog food. I feed him dry food, just to let you know. Yeah.
Oh.
It's really sloppy and gross.
It's very professional. Made out to my
That's fine. You can. It's fine. Take a.
Should to take the call.
Yeah, go on then. Join in.
See what it's like in the wild.
Have you eaten any animal food?
Surprisingly not. I'm really weird about food textures though. I can't eat onions.
You can't eat
at
onions? What if they were crunchy onions?
Nah.
Like dried onions?
Yeah, so the boyfriend will go and cook us something and I'll be able to eat something and go like that, and I'll have the onion on my tongue. It's a weird party trick.
What? So you can just get it out?
Yeah. And I used to lie to people and say that I had anaphylactic shocks if I had onions. And then my ex-girlfriend saw me eating a mince pie, which had onions in it from Greg's. And she's like, oh, so I know it's a lie. So she cooked me food with it. And I was like, what if I really was like anaphylactic shocky? You would have like that's how you were going to test it. Maybe that's why I'm gay. Because heterosexual life trying to kill me. But yeah, no, I can't eat that. There's loads of things I can't eat.
Really?
I'm really weird with textures. I can't eat most fruits because they freak me out unless they're blended.
What fruit can you eat?
I don't think I can unless it was in a smoothie. I'm better at vegetables.
Okay. Do you like avocado?
No. I like it as a paste.
Right. And it's the texture.
As a spread.
A spreadable avocado.
Because I don't like guacamole, but I like avocado. So my workaround for chili is I'll go and buy an avocado spread. And that's me guacamole. You can have that one for free, kids.
Nice.
I realised I was exactly like the girl from Gogglebox from Blackpool then.
Oh, I love that girl.
I thought like that.
Wouldn't you love to be on Gogglebox?
We should do Gogglebox.
If somebody said to me I could go on Gogglebox, had to choose a partner, I think it would be you.
It would be you.
It would be you.
It would be you.
We would be funny on Gogglebox.
We would.
Well, do you know what? We also we're giving away too many ideas now, but imagine watching like boiler rooms and like DJ sets and stuff, and that's the Gogglebox. So we watch back stuff like
interviews,
boiler rooms.
Should we just make that happen?
Should we just do it and we just sit and watch them and eat popcorn? Can you eat popcorn? Or is that
I
funny
love.
texture?
Of course, I can eat fucking popcorn.
Oh, I don't know. You only have spreadable avocado.
I can't eat Haribo. Makes this.
Do you know what somebody said to me the other day? So my favourite Haribo are Tang-Fastics, the cherries. Mm-hmm. If you freeze them, they're amazing. I haven't tried it yet, but I think we should try it.
Yeah, I can watch you eat them.
Okay, cool. Done.
But who would we have on?
It would just be me and you watching people.
Oh, so it'd just be our Gogglebox.
Maybe we should have other people so it like cuts into other people
like
watching.
Gogglebox.
Like Gogglebox. So who else do you think would be good?
I don't know. That's why I kicked over to you for ideas.
I don't know, but I think we need to pitch it.
I'm trying to think of who the funniest people are. Do you know Alex Perez? He's an artist manager.
Yes, I do know Alex Perez.
He's very funny.
Was he the one that used to work with Grade Management?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
So he's a humorous friend.
Okay.
Waff
is quite funny.
Waff is funny. Cyrita would be good on it.
Yeah, Cyrita would be good.
Cyrita's the nicest person in the world.
Yeah.
Cyrita's just good at everything.
She's so lovely.
She's one of the nicest people I've ever met in dance music.
Yeah, she is really cool.
Very talented. Loco Dice would be quite fun.
Do you think Loco Dice is funny?
I do.
Do you?
I do. Or he laughs at things that I say.
Maybe he thinks you're funny because I never see him laugh that much.
We chased each other around pretending that we'd stolen each other's nose. And then somebody distracted me. And then like 15 minutes later, I went back to him on stage and gave him his nose back. He's like, you're an idiot. Actually, there must be more funny people.
There are funny people. And
Sarah's story's funny.
Yeah.
Come
Who else
on.
is funny?
I-
Who the other day when we were doing that, when we uploaded...
Blueprint's funny.
I've never met Blueprint.
He's one of my friends that I go with.
Really?
Chuckling for Ennis and Dennis, the Menendez brothers.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
They're good.
Yeah. I think we've got a show. Now we
I'm
just
trying
need
to
a
go through
producer.
lineups of like who do I think Party Boy I guess is funny in his pants with his bum out. Cynthy's very funny.
Really?
Cynthia is very funny. Yes.
Who else is funny?
Just Cynthia.
Just Cynthia.
And Bradley Zero's good.
Do you think people, you have to be in pairs really, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's just going to be us. And then people can audition for us.
We can do the first one of watching the auditions. I'm not joking. I think this is a really funny idea. We just need a producer.
Well, why
Well,
would
we
we
just
need
produce
a
it
producer?
ourselves.
We just produce it.
Fuck
We're
it.
producing this.
Yeah, exactly.
This is working.
I just think it would be a really funny idea. We can watch Boiler Rooms, interviews, Mix Mag Lab, mini documentaries.
We can just watch anything, can't we?
Yeah.
As long as we're watching and commenting, that's the thing.
Yeah.
But I think we'd be kind though, at least still. Or would you be the nasty one and I'd be the nice one?
Well, I think.
I'd be the Dawn French and you'd be the Jennifer Saunders. Yeah. Or a younger cultural reference.
Yeah. I see that working.
You're young. Who are the comedians nowadays?
Who are the comedians nowadays? I'm just trying to think. Well, who's quite funny? I just don't know.
Nobody. Us. God,
Just
come across massive egotistical cunts that we can't think of anybody else apart from ourselves.
Industry that's actually
The whole
funny.
around the world, the whole music industry, just us.
There has to be more people. Scream.
Maya's funny. Scream's funny.
Scream.
Dennis Ferrer is funny.
Dennis Ferrer is really funny, actually.
Honey Love's funny.
Honey Loves Funny. Honey Loves Funny.
Fabrice is very funny.
Why has my mind gone blank?
Who works at Pasha and used to work at Amnesia as artist liaison.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. Neil Evans.
Neil Evans is good.
Oh, there's a bunch of people, but
There's a whole the take home is.
we've got a whole TV show there.
Oh, I thought I was really on a roll at one point with the Dennis Ferrer Honey Love.
Yeah.
And then it just nixed it dead.
Trying to think like who else has been on the podcast that I've had a good laugh with. Oh, I know who has to be on one. Eats Everything.
Oh God! How do we do we get eats?
Yeah, Dan's hilarious.
And Meg's funny. Ward.
Meg is funny. Yeah, she's really sweet.
She's really sweet, but she's got a dark sense of humour as well.
I like her.
Ewan McVick is very funny. Yeah. Actually, there's more funny people than you realise.
We're not all that serious, you know.
I feel like I'm not sat at a flattering angle this whole time.
I was going to say, do you want to go and look? But you stood up, so you wouldn't be able to see it, would you?
The classic.
I know. We actually, I didn't really have any questions prepared anyway. We haven't really spoken anything else.
Come here, Disco. Come here.
Come on then.
Good boy. Good boy. Good boy.
Oh, look, he
I've
really
not got
loves
anything
you.
else.
He really loves you.
But I've not got anything else. This is how, if you train them with treats. Where's your ball?
I'll go and get him a treat.
Where's your ball? Oh, he got his ball. Good boy.
Ooh.
Disco's a good boy.
See, do you like him?
I do. Oh. Oh.
You got a dog for
He's my dog now.
It's your dog now.
Disco's a good boy. Good boy.
That you can give him to him. Go on then.
He's not going to bite it, is he?
No, he will
They're
lick
not
that out of
hurt.
your hand. He will lick that out of your hand. Look.
Disco, do you
What's
want?
this? Come here.
Good boy. Good boy. Good boy.
See?
Good boy.
Well done, Disco. Well done. So
That was me feeding the dog.
now do you want to try one?
Do you know what? Had we tried them both at the same time, then I would have. Have you eaten that particular brand
No,
before?
it's salmon.
It's salmon. Should we do it?
Yes.
Go on, because then you can feel less on your own. Yeah, and this will be the first time that I've ever eaten animal food. Yeah.
Right. Why are we even doing this? No, we'll share it into threes.
Share it in threes.
Share it.
So, because I'd never tried dog food.
Get down. We're trying it. You've got to be part of. We've both done it, so now you have to do it. So, one. I haven't tried this one before, though.
I only want a bit of the dog food. Oh, the dog's confused. Disco, I've not got any. Oh, are you okay? Disco, are you alright? Oh, bless. I've not got.
Right, Disco, this one's yours.
Right. Oh, there you go, the rest of it. I've not got any more.
I can't even think what that tastes like.
No taste of salmon.
Disco,
It tastes of salmon.
it tastes like dried grass.
Do you think?
What do you think?
I'm getting
Rate
notes
that
of
plate. Rate the plate.
what? What?
Come here. There's no more treats now, Disco. We've eaten them all.
Yeah, we've eaten them all.
We've eaten them all.
I was getting notes of salmon.
Yeah. What do you think of the texture?
I didn't eat enough of it to feel. I got more of a taste of it, I think, than the actual thing.
Well, that's a first on the podcast, eating dog treats.
It didn't go to plan. The dogs, bless him. Disco's still looking, but Disco, I've got nothing.
Look how much he loves you now.
He's a good boy.
He is a good
it's
boy.
because I've given him treats.
Yes.
And my hand smells of fish.
You keep
Oh.
slipping off this sofa, Wally. Come and sit up here then. Come on then.
Come on.
Right, you can sit down properly
Good
now.
boy. Are you okay?
There we go. Just chill, yeah?
Good boy.
You just chill.
Good boy.
Good boy.
Good boy.
So,
Disco, where's your
what
ball?
was I going to ask you? Oh yeah, were you nervous doing the Beatport documentary on He She They?
Do you know what? I'm gonna, because the dog's just there. There you go. The dog was just like full on eye contact with me, which was too intimate.
Well, it doesn't even matter. I'm not even going to say it. It's fine.
What were you gonna say? So much has happened.
So much has happened.
No, yes, I was, and no, I wasn't. I wasn't nervous. It was just I knew that it would bring up a lot of stuff, but I knew it was like important to do. And then I said to them like, it's got to be actually engaging, so it has to be honest. Otherwise, what's the point? And I don't want it to just make us look like we're good. That's not the point of it either. It's just to explain that it's all about like showing different people's stories and how different people have felt othered, and how the dance floor kind of brings people community and can bring people together, and how dance music can be an agent for change, which I think it comes across on that. And for me, I wanted them to meet like my best friend in there and my mum, because like they're really important parts of like me actually doing this, of me coming out, all sorts of things. So no, it was really good. The thing that was the weirdest part was every so often you just get asked to like, right, we just want you to like walk somewhere and just like
B-roll.
Yeah. So there's a lot of me just walking to like rivers, walking to the sides of things and just being like, oh, just got to look up at the clouds. Like, and it's just stuff that I just don't do. So it's just like, did I walk well? And then
Yeah,
one
it
of
makes you
them,
think about how you walk.
oh my God, I walk like I should be ringing bells in Nostradam. Like, it looks like yeah, it was not good. So it's like, all right, now I know that I need to like not slouch or not,
Yeah.
as I have through this entire interview where I've like just been. If you looked at this at various points, the height of me completely changes because when every so often I remember to be like that.
And then you go down.
Yeah, exactly.
I can never get comfy. I move around loads.
I'm just fidgety.
I'm so fidgety. I'm a very fidgety person.
That's my exercise.
Being fidgety.
Being fidgety.
That's how I move. That's my daily movement. Fidgeting.
Oh, the dog's just looking at us depressed.
He's
Like,
nervous.
you two fidgets.
Fidgety human beings.
Oh, Disco is the cutest dog in the world. You are a good boy, Disco. You are a good boy.
Do you love him?
Oh,
Look, he loves you too.
good boy.
He loves like attention.
How could you not give him attention? He's beautiful.
I know.
This is the thing, I never get how people can like hurt animals or kids. It's just like, they're just such lovely things.
They are.
And like just innocent. And it's like, he just wants to be loved, innit?
Yeah. So what else are you doing with Fiji Day this year?
I can't remember what I've already mentioned or not. But we're going to Asia again. We're going to South America for the first time. First time. I don't know why I did that for you. We're going to Australia. There you go. That was more Geordie. Australia.
Can you do an Australian accent?
Oh, yeah. Fair income. I can probably do it a bit. And then sometimes it drifts into New Zealand. But
that's really good.
It was all right. So I got it. I don't think I can keep it up past that. So maybe let's try. Fuck it. So years ago, I lived in Sydney and in Melbourne. I know that's all I can do. I can't be asked to do it. But I've been back and forth loads. Some of my best friends live there, but I love Australia. We've never done a show there, so remedy in that. And then in USA, we're in 14 places. We just did a stage takeover of Coachella. So we're doing that, which is good. I can't. Do you know it's weird because the recorder went off. I know. I can't remember what I talked about. I don't want to seem like I'm bloody Joe Biden, just constantly just going over and saying the same things over again.
Joe Biden.
The dog sniffed at Joe Biden.
One. Do you know when he sniffs? It's because he wants attention.
So
I'm going to end.
I've not got food though.
With a question.
What's the question?
Well, actually, the question is from Meg Ward. We're playing this thing. It's called Pass the Question. So every guest has to pass the question to the next guest.
Oh, God.
So her question to you is, what is your most obscure fear?
Most obscure one? I really hate underpasses.
Underpasses?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Like, I always think I'm going to be murdered in an underpass. Never, ever fails to bring me fear. Onions. Mm-hmm. Just being around them. What else is a weird fear? I've probably got loads. Really anxious. Oh, I have to turn loads of things off because I think the things are going to catch fire. And they don't. But then I'm like, well, of course they don't because I've turned everything off.
Imagine that you had hair straighteners to straighten your hair.
Oh, absolutely not. They wouldn't be present.
That is a big thing for me. The amount of times I leave the house and I'm like, have I turned off the hair straighteners?
When I used to get really OCD about stuff, because just when my anxiety was higher, because I was managing a few people that were difficult, I used to have to film myself turning off the oven so I could watch it and be like, no, I turned off the oven.
Really?
Yeah. And I used to go 1, 2, 3, safe. And if I didn't say that, I'd have to go back and do it, or I'd be like if I touch the thing again, my nana will die, so I can't touch the thing. So I had all these like weird mechanisms, and then my nana passed away, and I was like, oh God, what can I use to do that now? Because it used to be like the ultimate thing I didn't want that to happen. So that, but like the turning off things goes and really annoys the boyfriend, because like he'll come back from work and be like, oh, for fuck's sake. Turns on the TV, turns on the Alexa.
Turns everything on.
Or like sometimes
do you even turn your Alexa off?
Yeah. And then he's plugged in the phone and he thinks it's charging, but it's not because it's up at the wall. Turn off the microwave, the kettle, apart from like the fridge and the freezer and the internet. And he's just like, you're too much. I won't if I'm in the house, but like if we leave the house,
everything's off.
Or it tries to be, just because I've watched, I don't know, just like, I think it was because when we were young in Sunderland, you get taken to like this place, not like in a bad way, but I think it's just like a fire safety thing where they go and show you what happens when there's a chip pan fire, or where there's this or that and what to do. And I think that just filled me with extra existential dread.
That's a good answer. What's your question for the next guest?
I know what I want to ask because I think it's really uncomfortable, but kind of funny. But what's the biggest object you put up your bum? But I feel like that's too hard for someone else to answer. But it's such a good one.
I'm just trying to think who the next person is. It'll either be Nick Fanciulli.
Oh, we can't ask Nick Fanciulli that.
Or Demi Ricchisimo.
Demi would take it in his stride.
Demi would take that. Do you know, I played this in Miami. Did I tell you about this? When Daly asked how many hours... His question for the next person was, how many hours of porn do you watch a week? And tell the truth. And then the next person was Kerry Chandler.
What did Kerry Chandler say?
Luckily, he didn't turn up for the interview, but can you imagine?
Did you have to ask it to someone else?
Yeah, I had to. In the end, I asked Alex Kennan.
Oh, Alex would have taken it in his stride.
Alex took it fine.
How many hours did he say?
He said from 0 to 3, depending on the day.
A week? Or the day?
Yeah.
Fair. 3 hours of porn.
I don't know if he said 3 hours or 3 minutes, though.
You wouldn't watch 3 minutes of pornography.
I don't know. Depending on who it is.
I feel that's like from Google search to porn is quite a small...
Yeah, that's true.
You'd have to click videos and decide if you like them or not.
Yeah, that's true. It must
just the first
3 hours.
one, anyone.
Just give me something.
Anything. But no, we shouldn't say what's the biggest thing you've ever had with your bum. You can ask it as a secondary question if you feel that it needs prompting.
Okay. I'm going to write yours down.
Oh, I don't know. I like the irrational fears one. That's really good. I think Meg's really, really on a good one there.
She's on a good one there.
Who else is funny in dance? Who are the 3 funniest people in dance music?
And then they can help us produce our show.
Exactly.
Who are the funniest 3 people in dance music? Okay.
It feels like you're not typing the words out.
I put, who funniest dance music? It's called short typing.
Is that?
Well, I don't know. I think it's something like that.
Is-
you just
is that
write in the
shorthand?
words and it prompts you and then you rewrite it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's good.
That's how journalists work.
Is it actually?
Mm-hmm.
So they just write like, if you just saw a journalist pad, it would be nonsense.
Yeah, it would just be loads of random words and then you just kind of piece it all together.
But that could go so wrong.
Yeah. Big item up. And then the whole different story comes out. And what I wanted to say was...
Would you have put up, or would you have just had big object bum? And then you'd have to remember if it was
Up
the
the
biggest
stairs
thing,
or up the...
the biggest thing that you'd pushed out or pushed in.
Yeah, that's true.
Very different answers, one would hope.
Well, that's what I'm... This is what I'm saying. You have to be careful of the words you write.
It's the end of the podcast. I just got into it now.
Oh, we can carry on. It's fine till we need
Reams
a show.
and reams and reams of podcasts.
And so this is for season 6. Remind you to do episode 1, brains. Episode 2, brains.
It's a Lass and I game, mate, just chatting bullshit for like hours at a time.
So do you know my dad, when I was younger, he used to do this thing, and he used to go, "You must be the brains."
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was thinking about it this morning. He still does it sometimes. I don't really know where he got it from. He's got like a proper Cockney accent, my dad. Like, "You must be the brains."
What does your dad do?
He's got a construction company.
Oh, fair. That's cool.
Yeah.
What does Mum do?
She does a lot of charity work.
Oh.
Yeah.
She attend like balls and things like that, and like buy celebrity paintings.
She used to work, my mum, for Fox FM, which was part of Capital.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember Fox FM?
Yeah. From like 30 years ago or something.
Yeah, well, when I was growing up, so before we moved to Spain, so she was, like 25 years ago, she used to work there. She used to be the receptionist, so she used to like meet all of the celebs when they used to come in.
Who did she think was a prick?
Well, I'll tell you who her favourite was.
Favourite first.
So her favourite was Craig David.
Oh, that's nice.
And I saw Craig David at Formentera last year. He was sat on a table behind me. My mum's always gone on.
Oh, of course, this story.
We did the video. So I said to him, I was like, "Listen, I know you don't, we've never met each other before, but my mum used to work at the radio at Fox FM, and she always used to tell me how amazing you were and how much she loved you, and can we send her a video?" And he was so sweet, and he did this video. He's like, "Hi Tracy, it's so nice to have met your daughter, and we've been talking all about the Fox FM days."
Oh,
how cute is that?
It's really cute. But didn't she make him food, or did I make that up?
Did she make? Oh no, this was. I said to her that I was gonna rewrite his one of his songs, and it was going to be about all the food that we were going to cook him because we wanted him to come around for dinner. So it was.
Was this some spaghetti or bolognese? Or?
Have I told you this story?
I think so.
It was.
Unless this is a weird psychic guest. The spirit's coming over and saying, "Hello.
We'll have spag bol on Monday. I'll have fish and chips
Good
on a
boy.
Tuesday. Salad and
Good boy.
chicken Thai curry
Good
on
boy.
a Friday, and on Saturday, and I've missed out a day.
What do you want? What do you want, Disco?
Just wants a kiss and a cuddle.
Good boy.
Look, he really loves you a lot. Oh, look.
Oh, I love you.
See, I told you you're going to be besties.
Good boy.
What was I going to say? Oh, right. Okay, so I end with a game, okay? It's called the random DJ name game.
Right.
So you're given a random letter, and you have 60 seconds to say as many DJ names as possible with that letter.
Okay, I'll try this.
Yeah? Okay. So I'm going to use a generator, so it's just not the top of my head, okay?
I've never done. You see, you should never do live TV with animals.
Yeah, that's true. He can be on our show, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Muzzled. No joke. Jokesies.
Okay. So I'm going to give you the letter, and then you have 60 seconds to think to just say as many names as possible. Ready? So your letter is...
Oh, please don't be a silly letter.
If it's a shit letter, I can change it. Come on, then.
Oh, now my mind has gone blank of all DJs that have ever
Ready?
existed, even though I've booked so many.
Your time starts now, and your letter is F. Go.
Fred again. Kim and Foxman. Fortet. Oh, my mind's so blank. Felicity Kendall. It's not, but why not? Oh, fuck. Just follow more. I'm just trying to think of on flyers. Who would... F's a weird one. Freddie K. Fred P. There must be a Frank.
Yeah.
Frank Iwa. This is a horrible game. I feel depressed. Felicia.
5 seconds.
Fan. Davidosi.
2, 1. Okay, that was.
I didn't do
1,
well there.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Should I try it with another letter to see if I was any better?
Well, you can, but I can only put 1 on the ranking board.
Well, should we do whatever's the best?
Okay, but I can't do this with everyone, but I'll do it because it's you.
Who's got the best?
Will Clark with 10 points.
Oh, so it wasn't that far
No,
off.
and Meg's got 6.
But there is only 3 people.
There's only 3 people so far.
Right.
There's a whole season to go yet, so maybe one
I
happier.
might well slide down that leaderboard.
Yeah. Do you want to try it one more?
Had I known, I would have looked at RA's F page and then...
Yeah, but that's the whole point.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to know. I think it's a good score.
Should I just let it stand?
Yeah.
Should
that gonna annoy
Should we do
you?
it to you?
Oh, God.
All right. Your time starts now, and it's Q.
Actually, do you know any?
Quest. Oh, shit. I didn't do... Oh, poo. I didn't do any of me meetings that I should have done.
What, today?
Yeah, just now because I've done the podcast. Generally hardworking and doing everything normally. But why? Oh, God.
Are you in trouble?
Quest?
Quest, that's the one.
Queen.
Yeah, but Queen's not a DJ.
No, Queen something.
Oh.
Do you think there was more people called Queen something? Queen.
There isn't.
There must be.
Good DJ name beginning with Queen.
Let me have a look on RA for anyone who's struggling at home.
Wow.
DJ,
Cute.
DJ Qubit. DJ Q.
I was just going to say there is one called DJ Q.
DJ Qness. DJ Quicksilver.
DJ Quicksilver.
Is that he did Bellissima? To be fair, there is only on Wikipedia. There's only 5.
I would have lost
Talal
this whole game.
Qureshi.
Right,
And-
give me another left.
And Quest wasn't even on there, so I know more than Wikipedia. Well, I didn't know the 5 on
Give me a better letter.
a better letter. I'm just having a look. It's quite hard regardless. A?
A. Ready?
Yes.
Right. Art Bat, Adam Bayer, Adam Port, Afrojack.
It's on video.
No, sorry, I forgot. Alice in Wonderland.
Alice in Wonderland, yeah.
Anfisa
Iago.
Ariel Free.
Ariel Frey, yeah.
I'm quite good at this game.
Well, you are with the letters, great.
Diva.
Do you know what? There's a weird thing which isn't related to this, but how you said weirdly. Me and my old flatmate Anna, who's now head of production international touring for Taylor Swift, used to live in this mad flat, and one of our things was we would like just being dicks. We used to get people on nights out to say Alan Prost, the Formula One racing driver from the 80s, in the weirdest way. Because we had this idea that Alan Prost's fan club must be called the Prostitutes. And there was just, so people would just say it in really weird ways. So it was like, one of them would be, true, Alan Prost. Like just weird. And I don't know why, but we just picked this one and we just went with it for years.
Did you ever send it to him?
We didn't. But we should have. I don't know if he's passed or not. I think he might be still kicking around. I do have just some last minute anecdotes.
Go on then.
Anna and I trying to find a flat in London where we'd lived in one and then we'd gone to a torture garden and we couldn't find anywhere. So we were like, right, let's just look at any of these, even the bad flats. Let's go and have a look around. So we had a look at 3 different places. One of them, the people wouldn't leave the house. So we had to look through the letterbox as the viewing. And the estate agent actually had the audacity to say, so you're going to take it, after we'd looked through the letterbox. Other was this flat above a Chinese restaurant that had no partition between the restaurant and the thing, so just the food smell drifted up. And they were like, yeah, at one point 20 people were here, but it's only supposed to be a 2-bedroom house. And we're like, right. And then there's these big slats of wood, like, but mishmash wood on the front door. And Anna was like, oh, so who kicked the door in? The guy's like, no one. And she's like, so you're telling me that door came from a variety of like corkboard, MDF, whatever, and also the door handle's hanging off. And she was like, yeah, guess how it could appear to look like that, right? So that's the second house we decided we weren't going to be at. The third house, we moved one of the beds and there was a used condom there. And like it had been a cannabis farm. This woman threw in the fact that a few weeks before a kiddie had been snatched from up there, from not in the house but from like on the estate, and it just kept like going all these bad things. And then Anna had tried to shut the door of the kitchen, and she's like, "Oh, there's no door handle." And the woman just completely straight face just went, yeah, I usually use a fork. Like it wasn't a thing. It's like, you're amazing. So we went, so what's the next stage then? Is there a contract? And she went, the only thing I've got to hand is this napkin. Do you want me to write it on that? We're like, okay, because we're going to be homeless. So she wrote the contract out on a napkin. Like,
is this the condom house?
Yeah, it's this condom house. And then Anna and I, like 3 days later, thankfully found this other house that ended up actually we found belonged to an ex-drug dealer. And why the TV in Anna's room was bolted up in the wall was because it had been whoever had cancer's bed. And then I'd smoked out of the window of this other house, and like the kids kept from the local estate were like, "Oh, you're back in business now," and I was like, "Oh no." So we were like, "Okay, this is a bit mad." So Anna's written a letter to the other woman saying that we fled the country for some mad reason, and that's how we got out of the paper napkin contract. So this other one come back. Anna's like, "We've been burgled." It's like, "Oh, who by?" She's like, "Oh, the police." So the person before had been using her dead brother's house to defraud the police. But because the door was so huge, like to get into the thing, because it'd been reinforced metal door, the police people couldn't go and fix it. And then for whatever reason, it just kept not being fixed. So I had to show Anna how to pick our lock with a metal dart from the dartboard. So our front door key was this metal dart that we used to sellotape to the back of the door. And then one time I went to a gay club And then for some reason must have forgotten, and I put this metal dart in my pocket, and I had like a skinhead at the time, and like thigh high, like knee high boots, Dr. Martens, and I must have just looked like this aggy guy. And he went, "So why have you got a metal dart in here?" And I went, "Oh, it's like our front door key." He's like, "Yeah, sure it is." And then I had to message Anna. I was like, "I'm really sorry. There's no front door key, and the bouncer's just taken this one off me." And she was like, "I can't believe you've been an idiot and lost the front door key." I was like, or maybe the bigger thing is we need an actual key to our front door. But we just learned to compensate. But she's incredible. She's absolutely smashed life.
Wow.
Beyond.
That's amazing.
But they're like some of how fucking grim it was to come up in that's the stuff that I would have loved to have been in the documentary.
Yeah.
Just going around. Like I reckon Anna and I could have written a sitcom about how just bizarre that time was. As well, we had this thing in the Urban Dictionary called boredom crush. And it's basically when you fancy someone just because you're bored. And then the minute that like you're in a relationship, you're like, what was that?
All about?
Like that person was entirely unsuitable for me.
That is such a true thing,
It's such a true thing.
It's such a true thing.
And like, oh, maybe we'll get married and maybe with this, maybe that. And you're like, oh no, why is my brain just ran away with this thing? So yeah.
Boredom crush.
Anyway, you've got to curtail my anecdotes.
This has been lovely.
Imagine when I'm 90.
Oh my God, this
and
is
I've
your life.
Got no frontal cortex and I'm just chatting all these stories with no context. I mean, there's barely context as it is, let alone.
It's a good job. I didn't have any questions prepared, really.
Well, it would have been structured. It probably would have been a nice, I don't know if it's a nice listen or this is just like the ramblings of a madman.
I think this is a great listen.
Wait
till you watch our Gogglebox series.
One of us will have to become a celebrity so we can watch it together.
Yeah. I think you're pretty much a celeb.
Kinda. My sister's really caustic, but in my younger one, in a brilliant way, she'd be great to have on.
Really?
She's the one who sends me the memes I have to delete. No, she's good. She's lovely. But anyway, I digress. Right. It's the end.
Is this the end?
I'm playing with my cap as well. I'm like, I don't know what angles I've been at.
Well, thanks for sitting with me on the couch for a couple of hours.
Double chin for a lot of this.
We love you.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.